Hi, do you ever feel like a little person in a huge universe? Me too, we all do. That's the theme of our song for this week. It's called Psalm 19. It's in your Bible. You can go and find Psalm 19, look it up. If you have a Bible at home or wherever you're watching this, look it up online. BibleGateway.com is a good one. Psalm 19, that's with a P, P-S-A-L-M. We're in a season of Lent, and so we're focusing on the journey of Jesus toward the cross. But we're also recognizing at the same time we're on a little journey of following Jesus, a journey of gratitude for what he did there on the cross and in rising from the dead. That is the key moment in our life, what Jesus did in his journey. But we recognize that we too are following him, and we're appreciating him. And we need some music for this journey that we're on. It's not by accident that God included a whole hymn book, a song book, right in the middle of his Bible that he gave to us so that we would know about him and understand his thoughts and know how to follow him. It is here in Psalm 19 that we get this great song that is just a beautiful soundtrack for you when you are feeling like a small person in a giant universe, when you become aware of how big in scale this world is, and you're feeling very, very tiny. Now, it hits different people at different times. Maybe you're always thinking deep thoughts like that. Or maybe you don't really think about that because you're pretty much laser focused on your life and your chores and your schedule. Well, when you take a break from that and you look up from your phone or your calendar and you just look up at the sky, and you just see how far that stretches, or you see a tiny little speck of a plane and you realize that's a huge plane up there. That sky is huge, and it is going to travel for hours and hours, maybe a dozen hours to the other side of this giant planet. Or when the sun, you step out of the shade like I'm in now, and you step out in the sun, and it's about 20 degrees hotter out there, you realize that giant sun is just blasting its heat all the time in every direction, and it has been, and it will be. And it's just one of many stars, and yet God put it there in the sky, and it just blasts away this giant furnace of heat and light, and the kind of power you see in the sun, and the kind of distance you see in the stars and the sky, and you're starting to feel very small. But maybe you can go a little more personal. God exists. And he is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-present everywhere. He's also all-perfect. So when he says something or sets a standard, he expects it to be kept perfectly. And he knows if you don't. He is everywhere at the same time, so you can never hide from him like you can hide from other people. He is all-powerful, and so he could just end all of us in an instant if he wanted to. And yet some reason he's holding back. We call that his mercy. You start to feel very small. Maybe it's just noticing that there are so many other people with their own lives around you, so many cars in your roads that you travel, so many houses in your neighborhood, and you go, wow, all of these people, who can even keep track of all these people? And that's just in your city. Think about this entire world with billions of people, a number that our minds just cannot comprehend. Each with a different story and different personality and a precious soul. How could we ever think about anybody even beyond our little immediate family? It's all we can do to just manage our own schedules and our own birthdays and our own issues and health problems and likes and dislikes. To keep track of billions of people, we must just be like a tiny little dot, like a tiny little ant in a giant anthill. And from God's perspective, we must be that insignificant, right? Wrong. When you're feeling like that, you need a song that, A, acknowledges this is how we feel. This is how we humans must be wired to feel. That God understands when he made this giant universe and put, human-sized humans in it, we are going to feel small sometimes. And when he told people to fill the earth and subdue it, we're going to spread out, and there are going to be a whole lot of us humans, and we're not going to be able to keep track of everybody. We're going to have to kind of take care where we can. While loving the whole world in some general sense, we cannot keep track let alone do anything for most other people in this world, probably just the people within 1 or 2 degrees of separation from us. So A, we need a song that acknowledges how small we feel sometimes and how that's accurate. And B, we need something that makes us a little deal with it a little bit better than just saying, well, I'm such a tiny little person in such a big universe. I need something bigger out there. And he gives us that. So I'm going to read that to you. This Psalm 19 here is really helpful. It's a good soundtrack for, we don't know the music for it, but I can read you the lyrics. And so as you hear about it, relate with it. How big the world is, the power of God's creation, the perfection that God shows, and then how we are not just a small, insignificant speck. You're a servant. You're a servant of God. And that's an important task. You also understand that God is not some giant titan who's just looking to squish people. He is the rock that you stand on. He supports you. He cares for you. And that's most clearly seen when his son died on the cross for you. Lastly, the last word of this song is the word Redeemer. Somebody who has gone out of his way to get you out of the mess you are in, to rescue you and set you free, and you understand God is your Redeemer. He has rescued you from your greatest enemies, sin, death, the devil. He's purchased and won you, and you are free. And I love that the song saves that for the very last word, because we go from being this tiny, insignificant speck to being someone close and dearly loved. So, without further ado, here's this beautiful song that you can take with you on your journey this week, Psalm 19. It's for the director of music, a psalm of King David. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they, the skies, reveal knowledge. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them, the stars and so on. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens, God has pitched a tent for the sun. It's like a bridegroom coming out of its chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens, makes its circuit to the other, and nothing's deprived of its warmth. The law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. The statutes of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, giving joy to the heart. The commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The decrees of the Lord are firm, and all of them are righteous. They're more precious than gold, than much pure gold. They're sweeter than honey from the honeycomb. By them, by God's words, is your servant warned. In keeping them there is great reward. But who can discern their own errors? Forgive my hidden faults. Keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me. Then I will be blameless, innocent of great transgression. May these words of my mouth and this meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord, my rock and my Redeemer. This is the word of our God. God bless you this week. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.